And welcome, Internet world. So, last few days I've been having an argument with somebody here on YouTube. I don't get the person, and I guess the person doesn't get me. Here's basically what's going on. So, Donald Trump supports red flag laws. He said so in the campaign. Donald Trump supports a ban on bump stocks. Now, there are people who claim to support the Second Amendment. Without the Second Amendment, the First Amendment is of no use. But they say, well, they're still going to vote for him because, you know, he can win. Or they're going to vote for a political party because that party can win. Okay, you disagree with the people, but you're voting for them anyway. That makes no sense. Vote your conscience. I did not vote for Trump. I definitely did not vote for Hillary. I voted Libertarian. And I vote for individual candidates. I do not vote for somebody based on political party. That's my beautiful, sexy wife right there.
Stop it.
I vote for people. I vote for individual candidates. Those candidates tend to be Libertarian and sometimes Republicans and sometimes Independents. It's extraordinarily rare that I will vote for a Democrat. The thing is, up here in New Hampshire, I vote for what some refer to as Liberty candidates, and they run as anything and everything. You know, what their reasoning is for running as a member of a particular party, I don't know. But I vote for individual candidates based on their record. Not just their words, but their record. Red flag laws in Florida, in like 2 counties alone, there have been several hundred gun confiscations. And these people haven't done anything wrong. They haven't said anything wrong. They've just, somebody said, well, you know, that person over there is upset, or I'm afraid of that person. That's all it takes. That's all it takes to have your property stolen. And I don't understand how you can vote for somebody you disagree with just because you think they can win. That doesn't make any sense. Now, Trump is actually a Democrat. Up to like 10, 12 years ago, he was a member of the Democratic Party. He has been close friends with the Clintons for many years. The border wall with Mexico. It was started by Obama, not Trump. That wall is going to be used against us. Okay, it's going to be used against us. The Berlin Wall was supposedly built initially to protect the East from the West. Of course, it wasn't used for that. Okay, it was used to imprison the East. I've lived in Germany, by the way. I lived in Germany when there was a wall. We did not go to West Berlin for a reason. There were only 2 ways in. One was by train, one was by flying. My parents were like, we're not flying in there because it was very dangerous to fly in. You can find photos of the wreckage, the aircraft that didn't make it. The runway was not that long. It was dangerous to get in there. We did not go by train because I'm not going to say exactly, but my parents could have been removed from the train and who knows what would have happened. In Germany and in Venezuela, the totalitarians were elected. They were elected. So you're going to vote for somebody because you think they can win, even though you disagree with the person. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? I mean, seriously, it makes absolutely no sense. You want to vote for somebody because they can win? Well, you might as well vote for a Hitler or a Stalin or a Mao, because you're going to vote for somebody just because they can win, not because you agree with their policies. You're making no sense to me. Now here's my problem with the GOP. Reagan, one of the Bushes, and now Trump have all supported gun control. All of them. And Nancy Pelosi wants red flag laws. Trump supports red flag laws. That's just a way to take our property. Don't think about it just as guns. Think about it as private property. Another problem I have with the GOP, I grew up as a Democrat, and in my 30s, I, for about 5 minutes, switched to the Republican Party. The reason I say 5 minutes is because I realized that they were a bunch of liars. They held both houses of Congress, and they claimed to be pro-life. They claimed that they wanted to stop abortions, and they didn't do it. Under the Trump administration, his first 2 years, both houses of Congress were run by the Republicans, and they had the White House, and they didn't do a damn thing to end abortions. Not a damn thing. And before anybody says, oh, well, you're a religious nut, I'm actually an atheist. Okay, I'm a pro-life atheist. There are a lot more conservative and libertarian atheists than people might think. Although we still are a minority within the atheist, I don't want to say community, because frankly a lot of so-called atheists I don't particularly like, because they're not actually atheists. They worship the state. They're socialist, communist, fascist, whatever. That's just state worship. But I saw that the Republicans were saying one thing and doing something else. I used to watch C-SPAN, and I noticed on C-SPAN that the only time that there was really a difference between the Republican and Democratic parties was when something was being publicized. When it was being publicized, yeah, they would argue and fight, and one side would win and the other wouldn't. But then a few weeks or months later, they would go in to amend the bills, and both sides would wind up getting pretty much what they wanted. And when I realized that about the Republican Party, I'm like, I'm not going to support this party. They don't represent me. I vote my conscience. Everybody should vote their conscience. If people would actually vote according to what they believe in, then we would get candidates, we would get people in office that would actually do the things that people say they want their politicians to do. But instead you have people like this guy who says, well, I'm going to vote for somebody because that person can win. Well, other people could win if you vote for them. Duh. You're voting for somebody you disagree with only because that you think that person can win. Let me tell you something. Here in New Hampshire, we vote, and although a lot of Liberty candidates do run as Republicans, but we get them elected. And some of our politicians that are kind of wishy-washy about things, we hold them to account, and they still don't exactly do what they're supposed to do, and then they don't get elected again. They don't get reelected. That's the way it works here. We have a smaller population. The way that our political system is set up in New Hampshire, it makes it easier to do that. Plus, again, we have a smaller population, and you have fewer people required to put a person into office. So it's easier to hold people accountable. But if people would do that elsewhere, then we would actually get things done. So you're going to vote for somebody who goes against your beliefs because you think they can win. Okay. Again, that makes no sense. You just want to vote for somebody because they'll win. You don't care about values, about ethics. You just want to be able to say, I voted for somebody and that person won. That's what it sounds like, because you're not voting your conscience. I don't know what else I can say. I mean, voting for somebody just because you think they can win is stupid. What, if Hitler was running and you thought he could win, you would vote for him too? If Mao Zedong or Stalin or Victor Chavez, because they could win, you're going to vote for them, eh? Well, look what happened to Venezuela. Look what happened to Germany. You're compromising. You're compromising your values. You have no values. You actually have no values, because you're just going to vote for people just because they can win, or you think they can win. Your ethics suck. Let me tell you, your ethics suck. Your arguments don't make any sense. Mine do.